logic for infection spread here, okay? And there's two pieces of that logic we're going to add in. One thing is we're going to add in a thing that sends messages, and the other we're going to add in some mechanisms at two places that receive messages, okay? So first we're going to add a message from the infective state to its own state, okay? And the logic there, again, is it's going from itself to itself, because when you have contact with someone in a way that could spread infection, you don't become uninfective as a result. You stay infective. Hence this thing is from itself to itself. We're not leaving the infective state, okay? So here's our little self transition. And we're going to give that transition some logic. So we're going to have give it a rate of 2. So I'll switch back to this. This should have a rate. It's not a timeout. It's a rate of 2. So while you're in that state, twice per time unit, whatever our time unit is, we're going to be firing off this transition. And because the transition is from this state to itself, there's no transition to another state that's going to take place. Instead, what's going to take place, ladies and gentlemen, is the action. And the action is going to be, we're going to have send infection to a random connected. Now, I'm going to be a bit pedantic about it and type this dot send, okay? That's really what that means, send. It means I'm telling myself, hey, send it, and I'm going to type in infection, and it's going to go to random connected. Now, does anyone remember? I'm just doing control space here. It's going to prompt me with this. Now, incidentally, you'll notice here, if I pull up the documentation on these things, you'll notice that there's 2 variants of send here. And in fact, if you scroll down here, you can see further information on the meaning of this this message, and you can start to see some descriptions of sending modes. For more information, you have to go to the reference information we saw last time. Now, there was some difference between this and the one we saw in that other built-in AnyLogic model. What is the difference? Yeah, this is random connected rather than random neighbor. So random connected means with respect to the network. Who are you connected to in the network immediately? Who are your immediate neighbors in the network? It's going to select one with equal probability from that.
What's the difference between that and random neighbors?
Random neighbors in space.
Oh, okay.
Random neighbor is your neighbors within your spatial neighborhood. Random connected is your neighbors in a network. And you can have both operating in the same model. So you have both spatial connected, like maybe I can only infect those who are nearby myself in space, but I can be influenced socially through for my risk attitudes, for my with respect to my hygienic practices, with respect to my tendency to mix by people who are at a far distance in a social network.
And then we define the social network there.
So we did last time, and I'll go take a look at this right now to remind us. Okay. So great question. So this is the little snippet of code that we have here, okay? So this is send. Now, great question about the social network. Let's go see where that was. Who remembers where the social network is defined? Where is our social context defined? Okay, it's in main, because that defines the stage in which these agents circulate. So we know we got to look in main. And what sort of thing would it be? Oh, excuse me, I'm looking the wrong model here. I should be looking at this model, excuse me. And where is it defined in main? It's in the environment, yeah. So let's go look at the environment in main. Boom. And we go to advanced, and you'll notice here we give 2 types of information. The spatial information and then the network information. And again, at the end of today's lecture or Friday, we're going to be talking in detail about these different types of networks. But you'll notice that we can specify network information here, and we specified a distance-based network where people are considered connected if they're within 50 spatial units of one another. So they're laid out on a grid first, their location comes first, and then they're connected up based on their location. They're connected up such that they're connected to nearby people. Okay? So that's where we define their spatial context. And what we are doing here is we have set it up so we're now sending an infection message to our neighbors. Now, what would happen, ladies and gentlemen, if we ran this right now? What do you think would happen different from before? You think anything different would happen? Sorry? Yeah, we're just sending something. No one's listening. If a tree falls in the forest and no one's there to hear it, does it make a sound? Well, you can ponder that quandary, but here it has no operational impact. These agents are shouting and no one's listening. There's no ears to pick them up. Ladies and gentlemen, we shall not lend the agents ears. Okay, so